Yes, very good afternoon. Right, so yesterday we completed with the standards, yes, the last standard SRS 4410, which was regarding the compilation engagement. Yes, wherein the practitioner is going to assist the management in the preparation and presentation of financial statements using his expertise in accounting and financial reporting. Yes, no assurance given by the auditor and by the practitioner in case of a compilation engagement. And then even though if a chartered accountant is appointed to compile the financial information, still there are certain responsibilities on the management, like preparation and presentation of financial statements, design, implementation, maintenance of control. Very important, those 5 words I told you. And records, documents, explanation, other information, and the significant judgments. And to provide all this to the auditor, the practitioner, continues to be the responsibility of the management. And what if the information supplied for compilation is inaccurate, incomplete, or unsatisfactory? Information supplied is incomplete, inaccurate. One, he should draw them to the attention of the management and request the management for the additional or the corrected information. However, if the management refuses to provide the additional information, fails to provide the additional information, then the practitioner may withdraw from the engagement and he has to communicate his reasons for withdrawal to management TCWG. And what if during the course of compilation he becomes aware? And if he said he becomes aware regarding that AFRF disclosures have not been given, or amendments are appropriate, or that the compiled information is misleading. Again, what he should do? He should propose the amendments to the management. And again, if the management does not agree, again in that case he may withdraw from the engagement. And what if withdrawal is not legally permitted? Then he should consider the professional legal responsibilities if withdrawal is not possible. And he should also take an acknowledgement from the management that they have the responsibility for the final version of the compiled financial information. Right, so we saw the relatively in the SRE, SAE, SRS, more questions have been asked in the exams from SRS 4410, which is regarding the compilation engagements. And another one from where we saw more questions asked in the exams was SAE 3400, the examination of prospective financial information. And then after that, we came to professional ethics, right? That is the Chartered Accountants Act. And first we talked about 2 important sections in the Chartered Accountants Act. One, Section 2.2, and second we talked about Section 27. Section 2.2 is regarding the members who are deemed to be in practice. What does it say? A member of the institute, yes, whether individually or in partnership with other CAs in practice, for remuneration received or to be received, engages himself in the practice of accountancy, or does auditing or verification of financial transactions data, renders professional services, or renders such other services as in the opinion of the council may be rendered by a CA in practice. And the term other services includes management consultancy and other services. And management consultancy and other services includes the following list. However, broking, underwriting, portfolio management services have been specifically excluded from the list of the management consultancy and other services. And then we studied regarding the maintenance of branch office, Section 27. And now wherever a nameplate or a name board of the firm has been fixed, that has been defined as an office, right? So outside the firm nameplate, and outside the residence, it has to be the individual member nameplate, right? And what is the golden rule for the branch offices of the chartered accountants? That each branch of the CA should be under the separate charge of a member of the institute. However, when no separate charge is required, one exception is for chartered accountants in practice in hilly areas. And second exception is for all chartered accountants, but the exception is only for the second office. If the second office is located in the same city, or if it is located in the same accommodation, or if it is located within 50 kilometers from the municipal limits of the city in which the first office is located. Right, so we also saw a question over there, in the suburbs of Chennai and then 30 kilometers away, and they've appointed a retired income tax commissioner. So as it is within 30 kilometers, that is why that commissioner will be okay. Right. Then after that, we just discussed, Hannah had an introduction to the schedules to the Chartered Accountants Act. And what did we say? There are two schedules to the Chartered Accountants Act. We have the first schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act, and we have the second schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act. Under the first schedule, we have 4 parts: part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. Second schedule, we have 3 parts: part 1, part 2, and part 3. Yes, how many clauses are there in part 1 first schedule? 12 clauses. Part 2 first schedule, 2 clauses. Part 2 first schedule, 2 clauses. Then part 3 first schedule, 3 clauses. Part 4 first schedule, 2 clauses. Right? Second schedule, part 1, how many clauses? 10 clauses. Part 2 second schedule, 4 clauses. And part 3 second schedule, 1 clause. So that is 19 and 15. Total 34 clauses in ethics. Right? Part 1 first schedule is for professional misconduct for CAs in practice. Part 2 first schedule is professional misconduct for CAs in service. Right? Part 3 first schedule is professional misconduct generally. And part 4 first schedule is other misconduct generally. Right? How do you write down the clauses of ethics in the exam? As per like the example which we had taken yesterday. Clause 8 of part 1 of first schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Then can you tell me the 4 alternative sentences for the second one? First one, if it is part 1 first schedule, a chartered accountant in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he. Then part 2 first schedule, a chartered accountant not in practice, that is in service, shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he. Part 3 first schedule, a chartered accountant whether in practice or not shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he. And part 4 first schedule, a chartered accountant whether in practice or not shall be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct if he. And now we are going to discuss the part 1 first schedule in which there are 12 clauses. Right, now we are going to discuss which one? The part 1 first schedule in which there are 12 clauses. And what is the common sentence which I am going to tell before these 12 clauses? A chartered accountant in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he allows. Okay, now I am starting with 111. What is 111? Clause 1, part 1, first schedule. Right, what does it say? A chartered accountant in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he allows any person to practice in his name. Yani ke what does it say? A practicing chartered accountant, he cannot allow any other person to practice in his name. If he allows any other person to practice in his name, then he is guilty of professional misconduct. Now, what you have to learn to appreciate in all the 34 clauses which I am going to discuss with you, that each of these clauses, almost all of them, have been divided under 2 parts. Part 1 of the clause is regarding the misconduct, regarding what is not allowed, and if you do that, then you are guilty of professional misconduct. And what is the exception of the clause? Even though that would be misconduct, but there are certain exceptions which is allowed. What does the first part of clause 1 say? Allows any person to practice in his name. So matlab, that means nobody can practice in CA's name. ऐसा लगता है यहाँ तक सुन के, है ना? Allows any person guilty of professional misconduct if he allows any person to practice in his name. है ना? Allows any person to practice in his name. Then what does it say? Unless. है ना? Unless. यानी कि now I am starting with the exception. यानी कि these guys, they can practice in the name of the chartered accountant. Unless such person is also a CA in practice, है ना? And is in partnership or employed by him. And is in partnership or employed by him. Right? So what does it say? When would he be guilty of professional misconduct? If he allows any person to practice in his name. So you know one chartered accountant having a COP and he has these 15 BCom friends. है ना, BCom graduate friends. Can he allow these 15 BCom graduate friends to practice in his name? No, he will be guilty under 111. But say he has another friend who is also a CA in practice. Can he allow him to practice in his name? No. That friend who is a CA in practice should be his partner or should be his employee, and only then he can allow that another CA in practice to practice in his name. ऐसे उठते आते जाते, any CA in practice cannot practice in your name. That other CA in practice should be your partner or should be your employee. Only then he can practice in your name. So let's try to analyze. You understand? There is a person. This person, he is not a CA. Ouch. Second, this person, he is a CA. Next, he is a CA in service. Ouch. He is a CA in practice. He is your partner. Yes, he can practice in your name. He is your employee. Yes, he can practice in your name. He is others. He is just another CA in practice. He is not your partner. He is not your employee. Can he practice in your name? No, he cannot practice in your name. ऐसे तो अगर anybody is allowed, तो any CA in practice can practice in the name of any other CA in practice. No, that other CA in practice should be your partner or he should be your employee. So what is the objective of clause 111? It prevents unqualified persons from acting as qualified accountants. पूरा लॉट ही खाली कर दिया ना. It says who can practice in CA's name? Another CA in practice and who is in partnership or employed by him. Do you understand that? That is clause 1, part 1, first schedule. Yes, everybody understood? Clause 1, part 1, first schedule. Now I come to clause 2, part 1, first schedule. And now clause 2, part 1, first schedule is an ATF. You understand? May 16 exams, what they did, they asked 2 questions from clause 2, part 1, first schedule. है ना, कुछ खरा नहीं रहता इन लोगों का. You understand? Now 2 questions, from clause 2, part 1, first schedule asked in the exams. Clause 2 and 3 combined, but mainly clause 2. Okay, so now, okay, say you went to a particular, say you are staying in some village and there is some person who is not feeling well over there. So you take him to the doctor who is there in the village. And then that doctor gives him some medicine, some injection, some saline and so. And still, but 3-4 days wait and watch, but still the patient's health is not recovering. So that is why then that village doctor will recommend to the relatives of that patient, okay, now you need to take him to some city, to some big hospital. So then these patients ka relative, they ask, okay, which doctor should we take him to? Which hospital should we take him to? So the doctor says, wait, I will write a note and give it to you. You understand? Okay, in the city say that I have sent him and then this particular doctor, you go to him. Okay, likewise, this village doctor would be referring to patients and referring his patients to some doctor in the city. And at the end of the month, the city doctor will send an envelope to the village doctor. And in that envelope, there will be a bundle. You understand, no? Like, say many a times these doctors, they tell you to do some pathological test. And they tell you, okay, you have to get the test done from this particular lab only. You understand? They say, okay, from this lab. Then they'll tell you, okay, medicines also, 3 companies ka medicines are available. But you have to take the medicine of this particular pharmaceutical company only. Why they are doing all this? Because everywhere they get a cut. That is called as the cut practice in the doctor's profession. Everywhere they have their cut. With the pathologists they have a cut. With the MR, with the pharmaceutical companies they have a cut. With other doctors they have a cut. You understand? These medical shops वगैरह, they have to give a cut to all the doctors. You understand? Say कोई doctor का यहाँ पे OPD है and then outside there is a medical shop. That medical shop fellow at the end of every month he has to give 20% of his billing to the doctor. So that is cut practice, no? That is what they in the doctor's profession. So is it ethically allowed in the doctor's profession? Any such cut practice? Certainly not allowed. Similarly, in the CA's profession also, such cut practice is not allowed. What I'm telling you, you want the audit of that private company, kya? I will ensure that you get that audit. But 20% fee, you have to give it to me. You understand? Then guilty under clause 2, part 1, first schedule. You understand? Do you understand? If you pay or allow, now look at the wordings of clause 2, part 1, first schedule. What are the common sentence which I'll say before this clause? A chartered accountant in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he pays or allows. Okay, like this you have to learn and write in the exam. Pays or allows or agrees to pay or allow. Agrees to pay or allow. Directly or indirectly. Directly or indirectly. Any share, commission or brokerage. Yes, in the fees or profits of his professional business. Yes, of his professional business with any person. And then after that, what do they say? Other than. Yani ke, so much is the misconduct. And then the other part is the exception. Okay, with these people, you can share your fees. You understand? Now, one more question. Okay, ethics ka clause numbers, so you have to know. The plotting, you know. Okay, exam mein ye which clause ka question has been asked. So that 241, 122, 712, 711. That too you have to know. First step. And now standards I have taught you. So now it is at your discretion whether to remember the numbers, whether to remember the procedures, how much of practice of case study is to be done. Now the ball is in your court. But ethics, I'm telling you very clearly and in an upfront manner. Okay, if you don't want to learn the clauses of ethics word by word, I repeat, if you don't want to learn the clause of ethics word by word, you better leave ethics in option. You better leave ethics in option. It doesn't make sense, you know. You better at least spend time, you know, studying that cooperative society, NBFC, PSU, bank, insurance, cooperative and other chapters. It's a sheer waste of time. Don't put that tag, don't put that stamp, okay, I've done ethics. Unless and until you have studied learnt it by heart, the contents of the clauses. So 34 clauses are there. Out of that, relatively 20 are more important. And I'll give you an analysis at the end. So at least, you know, those 20 out of 34, you know, that much the wordings of the clauses, you have to do it. Because what I have seen in the papers which the students have called back from the institute is that the institute is taking word by word, line by line, okay, whether the entire content of the clause has been written. So the expectation is that you not only write the number of the clause, you know, 612 or 611, it's also that you write down the content of the clause. So it's like very essential. You know, so I'm telling you, you don't waste your thought. You don't give it a second thought or drain your energy upon it. Okay, whether I have to study the clauses of ethics or no. It's by default you have to do it. I'm telling you straightforward, if you don't want to do it, you better leave ethics in option. You are anyways going to get 1, 1.5, 1, 1.5 if you don't write down the content of the clause. So, and that's not useful. Getting 5 out of 16 doesn't serve the purpose. Okay, right? So, and this is the way. मतलब exam में भी लिखना है तो literally ऐसे पूरा page भर के तोड़ के लिख सकते हैं. Without leaving a line, you know, you can write it on next line, the entire clause. Pays or allows or agrees to pay or allow, directly or indirectly. Any share, commission or brokerage in the fees or profits. कितना word है? Pays or allows or agrees to pay or allow. Directly or indirectly. Any share, commission or brokerage in the fees or profits of his professional business to any person other than. Right. So can I share my fees with an ICAI member? You understand? ICAI member, can I share my fees with them? Like, you know, there are these two categories of CAs which I can talk of. One, the established CAs, and one, the struggling CAs. Established CAs who have some 10-15 years of practice, थोड़े concurrent, bank audit, cooperative society audits, tax audit files, fixed है उनका. है ना? So they have their set practice. And these struggling CAs, who don't like to work under anyone. So that is why the day they cleared the exam, they decided to put up their own practice and they purchased a laptop and a bike. You understand? Portable office they have right now. And now obviously day one you open a shop, who is going to come to you to file the return or give you the concurrent audit or a few branches of a bank? So what these struggling CAs they do, they go to the established CAs and they say कि थोड़ा काम दे दो, है ना, please give us some work. तो बोलते हैं हाँ मेरे पास बैंक ऑफ महाराष्ट्र के 10 ब्रांचेस है, 4 ब्रांचेस यू कैन डू, 40% आई विल गिव यू. जितना भी बिलिंग है फॉर दोज ब्रांचेस, आउट ऑफ दैट 40% आई विल गिव यू. So can that CA in practice, that established CA, give a cut to the struggling CA? Yes, because it is ICAI member. Then next one, partner. Obviously otherwise nobody will enter into partnership with you. And a sharing of profits. We talk about the profit sharing ratio of the firm. Then after that, retired partner. Okay, even after he is retired, you know, he can continue to receive a share in the profits of the firm if it has been mentioned in the partnership deed. Retired partner. Legal representative of a deceased partner. Very important. Legal representative of a deceased partner. Can they get a share in the profits of the firm? Can their legal representative get a share in the profits of the firm after their death? Yes, this one we will discuss in detail. Fifth one, a member of any other professional bodies. Member of any other professional bodies. What are the other professional bodies that I am talking about? ICSI, ICWAI, and a Bar Council of India, Indian Institute of Architects, Indian Institute of Actuaries. And I am going to show you that list of who all bodies are there and members of any other professional bodies. And the last one, the specified qualified persons, that is the SQP. The specified qualified persons, यानी कि again you know CS, CMA, actuary, lawyer, architect वगैरह, है ना. Now we can form multidisciplinary firms, ना, wherein CS, CMA, lawyer, all of them can come under one roof and provide multi-professional services, है ना. They can form a multidisciplinary firm now, right? So can you share your fees with them? Members of any other professional bodies, specified qualified persons? Yes, you can. Who is there in the list of members of other professional bodies in the list of specified qualified persons? That I will discuss with you after I have finished discussing 2, 3, 4, 5. Clause 2, Clause 3, Clause 4, Clause 5. Once I finish discussing these 4 clauses, then I will discuss with you who is in the list of the professional bodies and in the list of SQP. That is the specified qualified persons. Right. So 211 is regarding not to share. It is regarding sharing. You understand? But with whom can you share? Can you share with ICAI member? Yes. Partner? Yes. Retired partner? Yes. Legal representative of deceased partner? Yes. Member of any other professional bodies? Yes. And specified qualified persons? Yes. Now, legal representative of a deceased partner. Legal representative of the deceased partner. Can they get a share in the profits of the firm after the death of the partner? Share in the profits of the firm after the death of partner. Can they get a share in profits? Legal representative of deceased partner. Say ABC, 3 partners in a firm, ABC and company. Out of that, say C died. So can the legal representative of C get a share in the profits of the firm from A and B? 2 conditions for that. Has it been specified in the partnership deed or the partnership agreement? Second, whether they have specified the period for which they are going to give a share in the profits to the legal representative of the deceased partner. If both these answers are yes, only then the legal representative of the deceased partner can get a share in the profits of the firm. It is mentioned in the deed, but period is not specified. They cannot give a share. It is not mentioned in the deed only. So obviously then so there is no question only of giving the share. It is mentioned in the deed, yes. Has the period been specified? Yes. Only then the legal representative of the deceased partner can get a share in the profits of the firm. Does everybody get that? One of the favorite question of the institute from 211. Do you understand? And who has said this? It should be mentioned in the agreement, the period should be specified. The Council of ICAI. The Council of ICAI. So this is in case of legal representative of a deceased partner. Now I am talking about death of sole proprietor. Death of sole proprietor. You understand? Okay. So say CAX was a sole proprietor who was in practice since last 20 years and he died in a road accident. Now, can the legal representative of the sole proprietor sell the business of that Mr. X, CAX? Now here though there is no question of sharing of profits because there is no other person to run the show, to run the partnership firm. He was practicing as a sole proprietor, say X and company, and say CAX died. So can now the legal representative of the sole proprietor sell the business of the sole proprietor? Yes, can they sell it? Yes, will be considered as sale of business, or you can also consider it to be the sale of goodwill. Now say this fellow X practiced in the name of X and company. So can even the right to use the firm name be sold? Right? Can even the right to use the firm name be sold? Right, yes, right to use the firm name, even that can be sold. To whom can you sell it? Can you sell it on OLX? Yes, you have to sell it to another eligible CA in practice. You understand? No? You will have to sell it to another eligible CA in practice. Within how much time it should be sold? Within 1 year from the date of death of the proprietor. Within 1 year from the date of the death of the proprietor. So if the sole proprietor dies today, yes, that is the 24th of November, then it should be sold by next year, 23rd of November. For 1 year, the institute will keep the firm name in abeyance. To keep it in abeyance, matlab what? To keep it on hold. For one year, ICAI will keep the firm name in abeyance. To keep it in abeyance, matlab to keep it on hold. Yes, this is a normal case. The business should be sold within 1 year from the date of death of the proprietor. Normal case, matlab say X and company, Mr. X had only one son. You understand? And it is so obvious that after his death, whatever goodwill is received, it will go to that one son. Okay, so then it should be sold within 1 year from the date of death of the proprietor. But say X had 3 sons, and now all the 3 sons are fighting. All of them are saying, no, Papa had told me that you only take all the goodwill of my firm, all the money which you will get from the goodwill. So all of them are fighting now. So in case of a dispute, within 1 year from the date of death, within 1 year you have to inform the institute that there is a dispute. In normal case, where there is no dispute, within 1 year it should be sold. And disputed case, within 1 year you have to inform ICAI that there is a dispute. Then Indian legal system, at least 20 years required to settle any dispute. So say after 20 years the dispute is settled, then after the settlement of dispute, within 1 year the business should be sold. But I wonder whether any goodwill or client will remain. So normal case, it should be sold within 1 year from the date of death of the proprietor. And disputed case, it should be sold within 1 year from the date of settlement of dispute. And within 1 year, you have to inform the institute that there is a dispute. Is everybody getting what I'm telling you? Okay, so now say this legal representative of X sold the business to CAY. Can they even sell the right to use the firm name? Yes. And now CAY started doing all the practice of CAX. And now he would be making profits. He would be getting some income from that business which he had purchased. Now can the legal representative of X get a share in the profits from Y? Can the legal representative of X, say M, can they get a share in the profits from Y? No. In case of death of proprietor, you only get a one-time lump sum payment in the form of goodwill. You cannot get a participation in the earnings of the firm. That happens in case of a partnership firm. You get a participation in the earnings of the firm. But in case of a sole proprietorship, say X ka business is sold to Y. So Y will pay you one-time lump sum amount, say 40 lakh. But will you get any participation in the earnings of the firm from Y, the legal representative? No. No participation in the earnings of the firm. You will only get a one-time lump sum payment in the form of a goodwill, and even the right to use the firm name can be sold. Did you understand? Right. Say ABC, 3 partners in the firm and all the 3 died. Upper first example what I took, one partner died. So other 2 they can give a share to the legal representative. What if all the 3 partners die? Then you will apply the provisions of sole proprietorship, sale of business. So if all the partners of the firm die, extreme case, then in that case what will you do? You will apply the provisions of sole proprietorship, sale of goodwill to be completed within 1 year from the date of death of the proprietor. Yes, is everybody understanding what I am telling you? Legal representative of a deceased partner. Is that okay? Right. So what are the wordings of 211? Pays or allows or agrees to pay or allow directly or indirectly any share, commission or brokerage in the fees or profits of his professional business. Well, let's see, no share, no commission, no brokerage in the fees or profits of his professional business to any person other than an ICAI member, partner, retired partner, legal representative of a deceased partner, member of any other professional body and specified qualified persons. Is that okay for everyone? Okay, let's have a look at the question bank. Right, so clause 1 we have just seen. Yes, clause 2. Pays or allows or agrees to pay or allow. Yes, directly or indirectly, any share, commission or brokerage in the fees or profits of his professional business to any person other than. Right, and then they have given the list of these 6 over there. Right, widow of deceased partner continue to receive a share in the firm. If partnership agreement contains such a provision, then yes, otherwise no. And sole proprietor died, his business can be sold within 1 year and even the right to use the firm name can be sold. Right, then come to the question bank. Question number 1. A CA for a chartered accountant's firm pays share in the profits to a widow of its deceased partner. Can they give a share in the profits to the widow of the deceased partner? Yes. Yes, clause 2, part 1, first schedule is applicable. This clause says that the legal representative or the widow of the deceased partner would be entitled to share the profits only where the partnership agreement contains a provision that on the death of the proprietor, his widow or LR would be entitled to such payment by way of sharing of fees or otherwise for some specified period. I told you, 2 speed breakers. Is it mentioned in the agreement? Is the period specified? If yes, otherwise no. Yes, the widow of the partner, when the partnership agreement does not contain such a provision entitling her to share in profits, would not be entitled to such profits. In the given case, now see, 2-way answer they have written. If such a clause is present in the deed, the sharing is permissible, otherwise not. If no such clause exists, and if the firm still pays a share in the profits to the widow of deceased partner, the firm shall be considered as guilty of professional misconduct. Right, read question number 2. K, a practicing CA, gave 50% of the audit fees received by him to L, who was not a CA, under the nomenclature of office allowance, and such an arrangement continued for a number of years. To a person who is not a CA. So clause 2, part 1, first schedule. So first they've written the entire clause. Then in the instant case, okay, a practicing CA gave 50% fees under the nomenclature of office allowance. Now look at the extra masala which you can add in the answer. You have to learn to address the question. General answer nahi likhne ka. Question specific answer is what you have to write. Kya likha hai yahan pe? Under the nomenclature of office allowance. Hai kya nahi? In the question what they've said कि क्या नाम के अंडर दिया वो पैसा कि ये ऑफिस अलावेंस है तुम्हारे. फिर आंसर में क्या लिखा है? In this case it is not the nomenclature to the transaction that is material, but it is the substance of the transaction which has to be looked into. नाम कुछ भी रखो, बोलते उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? You are sharing profits only ना. Right, so it is not the nomenclature to the transaction, but the substance of the transaction. So what students do, once they get an idea looking at the question, okay, what is this about? They will just write a general answer. What you have to attempt to do is try to write a question specific answer. Learn to address what is the matter given in the question. You understand, right? So the CA had shared profits and therefore K was guilty under 211. Yes, guilty of professional misconduct under clause 2 part 1 first schedule. So again, if you write clause 2 part 1 first schedule at the end, it is okay. Or if you end your answer at therefore Mr. K is guilty of professional misconduct, then also it is okay. And sometimes you can also write and he is also liable for disciplinary action. You know, liable for disciplinary action, first schedule, second schedule, both schedule, board of discipline, disciplinary committee. Yesterday we had seen now, reprimand the member, remove the name of the member and fine of 1 lakh or 5 lakh. Right. Then question number 3. A CA who was in practice since last 20 years died in a road accident. His widow sold the practice to another CA in practice for 30 lakh. The price also included the right to use the firm name. Is it okay? Right? Even the right to use the firm name sold at 30 lakh? Yes. So with reference to clause 2 part 1 first schedule, the council of ICAI had an occasion to consider whether the goodwill of a proprietary concern of CA can be sold to a person who is otherwise eligible after the death of the proprietor. The council has resolved that of sale transfer of goodwill in case of proprietary firm to another eligible member of the institute shall be permitted. It shall be done within 1 year from the death of the proprietor concerned. Next line. It is even laid down that in such cases the name of the firm would not be removed up to a period of 1 year from the death of the proprietor. Thus, in the instant case, when the widow sold the practice to another member, it is nothing but goodwill sold to another member. The sale of practice and the right to use the name is also allowed. Therefore, the above act of the widow of the CA is permissible. Right. Yes, read question number 4. Mr. Ankit, who passed his CA examination on 18th of July 2015. Give her 1% profit of his firm in addition to monthly stipend. My God. वाली है हाँ वही मैं बोल रही हूँ. She agreed to take obviously 1% profit and the stipend. The ICI sent a letter to Ankit. In addition, वही ना, she agreed to take. The ICI sent a letter to Ankit objecting the payment. Ankit replied that sharing 1% is over and above stipend to help the article clerk to overcome her financial crisis. Is Ankit liable for professional misconduct? Certainly yes, under clause 2 part 1 first schedule. Right, so this question was asked in November 13 also and in May 16 also. Right, so I have written over here refer clause 2 part 1 first schedule. I have not repeated the entire clause again. But you have to write as per clause 2 part 1 first schedule. A chartered accountant in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he pays or allows or agrees to pay or allow directly or indirectly any share, commission or brokerage in the fees or profits of his professional business to any person other than. So now your ethics ka answer size will not be small. Yesterday I told you, 1 page 2 answers fit of ethics. Now they will not fit on 1 page, 2 answers. You'll require 1.5 page to write 1 answer only. Right. In view of the above, now see again how they have learned to address the question. क्या बोला है? The institute sent a letter to Ankit objecting the payment of 1% profit. है क्या नहीं? ऐसा लिखा है ना question में? Yes, do you see the third last line in the question? तो answer में क्या लिखा है? In view of the above, the objections of the institute as given in the case are correct. And reply, what reply did he send to the institute? That he is giving over and above the stipend. And a reply of Ankit stating that he is paying 1% profit over and above the stipend to help the article clerk is not tenable. Hence, Ankit is guilty of professional misconduct. See, they have addressed the question. They have addressed the question. Okay, next one. Yes, again May 16. Right, so these 2 questions are asked in May 16. I told you, from 211 only they put 2 questions in the May 16 paper. And this is that lucky one, RTP May 15, shifted to suggested May 16. I told you, those questions which are only RTP questions, they are ready to be going to the suggested. Right, so X is a practicing CA, Y is a practicing advocate representing matters in the courts of law. X and Y decided to help each other in the matters involving their professional expertise. X recommends Y in all litigation matters in the courts of law, and Y consults X in all matters relating to finance and other related matters which comes to him in arguing various cases. Consequently, they started sharing profits of their professional work. Sharing profits, no? So that is 2-1-1. And obviously X is giving a share to Y and X is also accepting a share from Y. So accepting share is going to come into the next clause, clause 3. So that is why it is going to attract both clause 2 also and clause 3 also. But is it allowed or not allowed? Guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. Why? Because it comes under member of any other professional body. है ना? Lawyer. Okay, advocate, Bar Council of India. Right, so clause 2 and then clause 3. Clause 3 is the next one which we are going to study. However, a member, practicing member of the institute can share fees or profits arising out of his professional business with such members of other professional bodies or with such other persons. हमने जो point में यहाँ 5 and 6 लिखा है ना, what is 5 and 6? Member of any other professional body and SQP, यानी कि specified qualified persons allowed. Right? Having such qualifications as prescribed by the council under the Chartered Accountants Regulation. Under the said regulations, the member of the Bar Council of India is included. Therefore, why an advocate, a member, is allowed to share part of his profits of professional work with X. Hence, X, a practicing CA, will not be guilty under any of the above mentioned clause for paying and accepting part of profits from Mr. Y. Yes, will not be guilty of professional misconduct under any of the above mentioned clauses. Is that okay for everyone? Clause 2, what is clause 2? Not to share. And now whatever fees, profits you receive from your professional business, what does it say? Not to share with anyone. If you share with anyone, you are going to be guilty of professional misconduct. But however, what is the exception? Sharing with these 6 people is allowed. So what does clause 2 say? You should not, CA in practice, you should not give any part of your fee profit to anyone. And what does clause 3 say? You should not take a share from anyone. Clause 2 says not to give anyone. And clause 3 says not to take from anyone. ना तो किसी को देने का और ना तो किसी से लेने का. Right? So what is clause 3, part 1, first schedule? Accepts or agrees to accept any part of the profits of professional business from any person other than. So from whom can I accept a share? ICAI member, can I accept a share? Yes. Partner, there is no question of accepting a share. There is only a sharing over there. Retired partner, again no question of accepting a share. Legal representative of deceased partner, there is no question of accepting a share. So member of any other professional body, abhi dekha tha na, Bar Council of India, can you accept a share? Yes. And specified qualified persons, can you accept a share? Yes. So what is clause 3? A chartered accountant in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he accepts any part of the profits of professional work from any person other than 156. Am I right to say in my language 156? What is 1? ICAI member. What is 5? Member of any other professional body. And what is 6? Specified qualified persons. What does clause 2 say? Not to give. What does clause 3 say? Not to take. And what does clause 4 say? Not to enter into partnership. A chartered accountant in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he enters into partnership in or outside India with any person other than, again, 156. So can I enter into partnership with other CA in practice? Certainly yes. Can I enter into partnership with member of any other professional bodies as recognized by central government or council? Yes. Can I enter into partnership with specified qualified persons? Yes. But can I enter into partnership? I am a CA in practice. Can I enter into partnership with my brother in business? Can I become a business partner with my brother? I am a CA in practice. Can I become a partner with him in his business? No, you cannot. You'll be guilty of professional misconduct under 411. unless you have taken specific permission under clause 11. So I'll come to clause 11 later. But as of now, I am a CA in practice. My brother is having his business. Can I become a partner in his business? No. I will be guilty of professional misconduct under clause 4, part 1, first schedule. What is clause 4, part 1, first schedule? Enters into partnership in or outside India with any person other than ICAI member, member of any other professional body and specified qualified persons. See, there is no question of 2, 3, 4 ka partnership. Partner, legal representative of deceased partner or the retired partner. So wo aata hi nahi hai na, so only 156. Right, so that is clause 3 and clause 4. I'll come to that. Right, so first let us see clause 3. The table is not yet complete. We have to add clause 5 to it. Okay, right, so clause 3, part 1, first schedule. Accepts or agrees to accept any part of the profits of professional work from a person who is not a member of the institute. From any person other than, and from whom it is allowed. What does it say? Member of any other professional body as referred to in item 2 of this part. Item 2 matlab the clause 2. So member of any other professional body and specified qualified persons. That is clause 3. And then what is clause 4? Enters into partnership in or outside India with any person other than a CA in practice, then member of any other professional bodies as recognized by the central government or the council. And who will recognize any other professional body or specified qualified persons? The central government or the council. So you can remember it in our language, enters into partnership in or outside India with any person other than ICAI member, that is a member of the institute, a member of any other professional bodies or specified qualified persons as recognized by the central government or the council. Right, so let's have a look at the question bank. Discuss whether the following actions by a CA would amount to misconduct or not. A CA practicing in India enters into partnership with a CPA in New York, a CA from the Institute of CAs in England and Wales in London. Right, so now CPA in New York and England and Wales, and a member of any other professional body as recognized by the central government or council. So if that CPA in New York or that England and Wales comes in the list of those which are recognized by central government or council, then this will be allowed. Subject to that it being recognized by the central government or the council. Because now I told you now, multidisciplinary firms being formed. You understand? So what does it say over there? An analysis of the amended clause 4. You can enter into partnership with CA in practice and member of any other professional body. Who has the power to specify the other professional body? The council and the central government has the power to prescribe such professional bodies to whom members partnership can be entered into. Are you getting that? Right, so qualifications are to be recognized by the central government or the council. So this amendment has enabled the members of the institute to form multidisciplinary firms. Are you all with me? And offer multi-professional services in a competitive and commercial manner. The council or the central government will specify the qualifications for permitting such partnership. And as stated above, it is important that partnership with a member of a foreign professional body is permissible provided such bodies are recognized by the central government or the council. So kiske shoulders pe dal diya? Central government and council. And same answer again for England and Wales, ke subject to it being recognized by the central government or the council, even the foreign professional bodies. Then what is the next part in the question? I'm again coming back to the question. And in each case, the member concerned takes the profits earned in their own country. Obviously, who will enter into partnership with you, he will also share the profits with you and accept a share from you. So sharing, accepting will be allowed, no, with whom you enter into partnership. And that is what we've already seen, na. Sharing, accepting ko to humne already tick lagaya hua hai na. Can you share, accept from another member of any other professional body? Yes. Specified qualified persons? Yes. Otherwise, nobody will enter into partnership with you if you don't share, accept fees from them. Are you getting that? Okay. Right. So is it okay if they take the profits earned in their own country? Yes. Even that is not guilty. And will it make any difference if an Indian CA is practicing outside India and becomes a partner with the aforesaid accountants? Indian CA practicing outside India, the Chartered Accountants Act is itself not applicable outside India. So the question of considering whether it is allowed or not only does not arise. Why? Because the act is only not applicable outside India. It's an Indian law, so you cannot apply it outside India. Right? So there the question only does not arise. So three parts in the question. Pehle to, can they enter into that partnership? Then second, can they share the profits? And third, what if the CA is outside India? Yes, are you getting that? Right. Then come to question number 2. Yes, November 2005. P, a CA in practice, entered into partnership with L, an advocate, for sharing of fees for work sent by one to the other. However, due to some dispute, the partnership was dissolved after 1 month without any fees having been received. Now actually in November 2005, when originally this question was asked, that time the answer was that he is guilty of professional misconduct. Because that time you were not allowed to enter into partnership with lawyer and CS and CMA and all those. But now considering the new provisions, is it allowed? Yes, so again now it says not guilty of professional misconduct. Because as per clause 4, part 1, first schedule, regulation 53B of the CA regulation permits the CA in practice to enter into partnership with other prescribed professional bodies, which includes an advocate, a member of the Bar Council of India. That's the main content in the answer. And whenever you read an answer, you should always try to track, in that answer, okay, what new I am getting in, apart from the contents of the clause. Right. In the instant case, P, a CA, has entered into partnership with L, an advocate, he would not be guilty of professional misconduct as per clause 4, part 1, first schedule. Right. So what is 2, 3, 4? Not to share, not to accept, not to enter into partnership. If you share, if you accept, if you enter into partnership, then you are guilty of professional misconduct under 2, 3, 4. Now, if I've entered into partnership with somebody, you understand? Or if I'm sharing my fees with somebody, or if I'm accepting a share of fees from somebody, obviously, will I not expect that I should get some work through them? You understand? Say I've entered into partnership with a lawyer and as a company secretary. So will I not expect that I also get some business through them, or won't even they expect that? Right? So that is clause 5, which is regarding canvassing. When I'm buttering, you understand? Jack lagana, vashila, what you call. You understand? Okay, through whom all can a CA get his professional business? Okay, through whom it is allowed, and when would you be guilty of professional misconduct? So what are the wordings of clause 5, part 1, first schedule? A chartered accountant in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he secures, either through the services of a person who is not his partner. मतलब through my partner can I get business? Obviously नहीं तो partner किस काम का? है ना? Secures either through the services of a person who is not his partner, मतलब partner के through चलेगा, or who is not his employee, तो employee के through चलेगा क्या? Yes, employees को तो target दिया हुआ रहता है कि you have to get 20 lakh का billing for the firm. Or who is not his employee, or through means which are not open to a CA. Yani ke there are certain means which are open to a CA. What are the means which are open to a CA? We will study that under clause 6 and 7 of part 1 of first schedule. Yes, pay attention to what I am telling you. Secures either through the services of a person who is not his partner, or who is not his employee, or through means which are not open to a CA, any professional business. You understand? So some politician ka jack laga ke, koi registrar ka pehchan nikal ke, if you get any professional business, then you will be guilty under 511. However, what is the next exception? First 3 exceptions kya hai? Partner, employee and means which are open to a CA. And iske alawa, what are the other 3 exceptions? It says, provided that nothing contained herein shall prohibit any arrangement as provided under 2, 3, 4 of part 1 of first schedule. यानी कि व्हाट डज इट से कि जिनके साथ 2, 3, 4 में शेयरिंग एक्सेप्टिंग पार्टनरशिप अलाउड, ऑब्वियसली क्लॉज 5 में उनके पास से गेटिंग बिजनेस ऑल्सो अलाउड. So can I get business through ICAI member? Why not? Can I get business through member of any other professional body? Yes. Through specified qualified persons? Yes. Do you understand that? What is clause 5? Secures. Either through the services of a person who is not his partner or who is not his employee, or through means which are not open to a CA, any professional business. Provided that nothing contained herein shall prohibit any arrangement under clause 2, 3, 4 of part 1 of the first schedule. You understand? So this is the summary, no? That is why I take 2, 3, 4, 5 together, because these 6 exceptions and I did one over here. 7, but 7th exception is only for clause 5. Are you getting what I am saying? है ना? 7th exception is only for clause 5. Employee and open means which are open to a CM. Yes, is everybody getting that? Okay. Yes, so this chart is also there in your books. If you look in your books, summary of exceptions of part 1 first schedule, clause 2, 3, 4, 5. So the chart which I just developed, it's already there in your book. Right. And then what they have given over here, professional bodies for 2, 3, 5. Point number 5 क्या है exception का? What is point number 5 in the exception? Member of any other professional body. And what is point number 6 in the exception? Specified qualified person. So now I am seeing that list over here. First, what they are talking about, members of any other professional bodies for the purpose of 2, 3, 5. मतलब here 4 is not there. यानी कि partnership का नहीं बोल रहे हैं. They are only talking about sharing, accepting and securing. Right, so which are the professional bodies they say with whom sharing, accepting and securing is allowed? ICSI, यानी कि company secretary. Then ICWAI, that is cost accountant. Then after that the Bar Council of India, यानी कि the lawyers. Then the Indian Institute of Architects and then the Indian Institute of Actuaries. These are the members of other professional bodies का नाम दिया है. फिर 4 के लिए who gets added in this list? Yes, who gets added in this list for the purpose of 4? The engineer. So engineer के लिए what do they say? कि with engineer you can enter into partnership, है ना? But these 2, 3, 5, what does it say? But engineer के साथ sharing, accepting and canvassing not allowed. Can you enter into partnership with engineer? Yes, but what does it say? Sharing, accepting and getting business through them is not allowed. Because actually their field is much different. So ऐसे देखने गए तो architecture is also much different. But still this is how they have specified. Right, and then after that SQP, specified qualified persons. ये क्या हो गया? OPB. What is OPB? Other professional bodies. And now I'm talking about SQP. SQP में कौन है? ये सारे 6 है. 6 मतलब कौन? CS, CMA, lawyer, that is you can also call him as advocate, then architect, then you have the actuary, फिर ये जो 4 के लिस्ट में engineer था, that engineer also I will bring over here, and plus I will add 2 more over here, BTech and MBA. है ना, ये MBA अभी latest में add हुआ है, this MBA is a new entry over there. है ना, तो ये original वाले list में, फिर engineer, and then I add BTech and MBA. You understand? So sharing, accepting and canvassing is allowed with whom? Which professional bodies? Company secretary, cost accountant, bar counsel, architect and actuary. Then partnership, in addition to these 5, also engineer. And the specified qualified persons में 2 more are added, BTech and MBA. Does everybody get that? Right, so that is clause 2, 3, 4, 5 of part 1 of first schedule. है ना, clause 2, 3, 4, 5 of part 1 of first schedule. Now coming to clause 6 part 1 first schedule. And to just understand okay, what is the mahima, what is the importance of clause 6 part 1 first schedule, just have a look at the question bank of clause 6 part 1 first schedule. Question bank of clause 6 part 1. and plus website questions, because website guidelines are also given under 611. हाँ, वो होने के, वो 15 होने के बाद वेबसाइट क्वेश्चन कितने हैं वेबसाइट के? 6. So 15 plus 6, 21 questions from clause 6 part 1 first schedule. So I told you ना, महिमा अपरंपार है ना, clause 6, such an important one, right? So far what we've said, out of 1 2 3 4 5, which was very important? Clause 2 है ना, and here onwards 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 all are important. You understand? But clause 6 तो ATF में top 10 ना. You understand? Clause 6 will come in ATF में top 10. है ना, top 3 में भी डाला तो भी चलेगा. Out of 34, top 3 में also if it goes, it's fine for it. Okay, right. So we come to clause 6 part 1 first schedule. है ना? Is it okay? Yes, we are discussing now what? Clause 6 part 1 first schedule. We are going to study what is the misconduct and what are the exceptions. And each clause we've been doing that. Right? So what does it say? A chartered accountant in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he solicits client or professional work. If he solicits client or professional work. Oh. If he solicits client or professional work directly or indirectly. है ना? Directly or indirectly. Solicits client or professional work directly or indirectly by CAPIB. Yes, by CAPIB. What is CAPIB? By circular. By circular. Solicits, यानी कि tries to get business. है ना? Buttering. You understand? Blowing your own trumpet. खुद का गुणगान करना. You understand? Solicits client or professional work directly or indirectly by circular. So say, you know, outside the class or when you're coming up to prestige point, you get a lot of pamphlets, na? सीढ़ी चढ़ते चढ़ते हाथ भर जाता है ना? You keep on getting, every stair there is somebody standing. Sometimes they distribute bags also. You understand? So you keep on getting, you know, some or the other brochures or so. Okay, so now one day you got a brochure on which the brochure was of C and Company, chartered accountants. And in that brochure it was written, कि our firm's limited period offer, file 2 tax returns and 1 tax return free. Festive dhamaka. You understand? What does it say? Tax return of season offer at rupees 999 only, limited period offer. 990 only. Only 90, अरे बाप रे. Tax return at 999. Okay, now it says our firm. Look at the collar. I don't know whether I should mention that. First time I'm mentioning in the class. It just came to my mind, so I'm mentioning that. If you see that serial, you know, Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma, in that Bhide keeps on doing, no? Gokul Dham Society ka ekmeva secretary. So something like that, you know, the CA saying collar tight karke. Our firm 2 laptops, 1 AC. You understand? Saturday, Sunday, holiday. No, this is for CAs. Listen. And if Saturday you come to office, you get samosas and wafers. You understand? Our salary, 30% more as compared to others. And for articles exam, 4 months extra leave given. You understand? Okay, and these type of circulars are being distributed. You understand? Solicits, client or professional work. He's blowing his own trumpet, no? You understand? He is advertising. He is soliciting. Okay. Right. Then what does it say? Circular. Then advertisement. है ना, advertisement, है ना, Pune में you know Lakdi Pool, or for that matter any bridge, you know there are big hoardings. When you stand at the signal, your eyes, you know, they see all these big hoardings. So there is an hoarding put over there, Dynamic and Company, tax return at 999, limited period offer. Right, so advertisement, or Pune Times of India, you open and you see this offer of CA form. Have you ever seen any such ads of chartered accountants being put anywhere? Why no? Because of clause 6 part 1 first schedule. Advertisement, or what does it say? Circular advertisement, personal communication. You understand? Personal communication. I know this chartered accountant, you know, he is invited for a lecture. Is invited to give a lecture on GST. Okay, how the company should prepare themselves, you know, for the rollout of GST. GST, VST all aside. Our firm. You understand? Tax return at 999, 2 tax return, 1 return free, 2 laptops, 1 AC, Saturday, Sunday holiday. Saturday if you come, samosas and wafers, 30% more salary as compared to others. Personal communication or interview. He is called on CNBC TV 18. You know CNBC TV 18? है ना, the Reliance का news channel. Or ET now. मतलब it's like it could be your dream, you know, कि one day you could be seen on those news channel and people listening to you. And नीचे it is coming, Dynamic and Company partner. And they say, na, if a KPMG partner is coming on TV, then they write over there, no, because whatever is the name of that person, and then they write that partner in KPMG. So now this fellow, Dynamic, he's come on TV. ET now, Economic Times, है ना? Or he's come on, say, CNBC TV 18. Or he's come on Radio Mirchi in the morning, 8:30. You understand? To talk about this demonetization issue, okay, you know, how people should handle the issue. And all demonetization and GST and everything aside, apna dukaan khol ke start. Our firm. 2 tax return, 1 tax return free. Tax return at 999. Our firm, Saturday, Sunday holiday, 2 laptops, 1 AC. You understand? Personal communication, interview. So when his interview is being taken also, he will start talking about what he wants to say. Or by any other means. You know, or by any other means. So this chartered accountant, you know, whether you meet him on the staircase or in the lift, you understand, सीढ़ी उतरते उतरते, parking में जाते जाते, or in the lift if you meet him, or if you meet him in somebody's housewarming ceremony, or somebody's birthday party, or somebody's wedding reception, or even if you meet him at somebody's funeral. And if he is standing next to you, he will start. Our firm, 2 tax returns, 1 tax return free, tax return at 999, 2 laptops, 1 AC, Saturday, Sunday holiday. Saturday if you come to office, samosa wafer, our salary 30% more as compared to others. Tape recorder on. And that is what you'll say, no? You understand? Right. So that is clause 6, part 1, first schedule. What does it say? Solicits. Client or professional work, directly or indirectly. And so even indirectly, by CAPIB. What is CAPIB? Circular, advertisement, personal communication, interview, or by any other means. Provided that. Exception starts. Provided that. This, so you have to learn it by heart. 21 questions asked in the exams. Word by word. एक comma full stop भी miss नहीं करना है. Word तो दूर की बात है. You understand? Provided that nothing contained herein. है ना? Provided that nothing contained herein shall be construed as preventing or prohibiting. Provided that nothing contained herein shall be construed as preventing or prohibiting a member from applying, requesting, inviting, securing professional work from another CA in practice. Provided that nothing contained herein shall be construed as preventing or prohibiting a member in practice from applying, requesting, inviting, securing professional work from another CA in practice. So I just gave you the example few minutes back, established CAs and struggling CA. The struggling CA is going to establish CA and saying कि मैंने कल ही एक लैपटॉप खरीदा है तो थोड़ा कुछ काम है तो दे दो, है ना, अच्छा काम I do. So can he solicit in that case? Yes, है ना, within the CA fraternity. Can one CA ask for work from another CA? Yes, that's the first exception to 611. Is everybody with me? What are the 4 keywords over there? Applying, requesting, inviting, securing. है ना? Applying, requesting, inviting, securing. Right? So first let's come to the question bank. We'll do the questions for the first exception. Right? Come to question number 4. है ना? Come to question number 4. Mr. Honest, read, पढ़ो. Right? Requesting them to allot him some professional work. As he did not have significant practice, he also wrote a letter to another firm for securing professional work. What are the 4 words I told you? Applying, requesting, inviting, securing. Mr. Clever, another CA informed ICAI. Kide. Okay, regarding Mr. Honest's approach to secure professional work. Is Mr. Honest wrong in soliciting professional work? No. Read the last line in the answer. Thus, Mr. Honest is not wrong in soliciting professional work. Now, in this case study, do I have to write down both the exceptions to 611? No, the question is only on the first exception. So, I shall write down only the first exception. So, first, obviously, I'll write down 611. Then, after that, I will write down the first exception. Now, all your ethics ka answer mainly as a general rule have to be divided under 4 parts. Okay, all the ethics answer has to be mainly divided under 4 parts. Part 1 is wherein you write down the clause with the misconduct and with the exception depending upon on what is the question. Right. Then second part in your answer is going to be regarding something that the council has said or some justification, you know, okay, why ICAI has issued this clause. What was the reason behind institute making such a person guilty of professional misconduct? So you're going to write down some masala relating to that particular clause. Okay, why? Mainly you're going to write over there something that the council has said about the clause or what was the reason behind ICAI introducing such a clause. So we are going to write down the masala. Part 3, we are going to correlate it to the case. Okay, in the given case, what has happened. And then part 4, finally, we are going to give a conclusion. Okay, therefore, he is guilty or therefore, he is not guilty. Right. So your ethics answer is required to be divided under 4 parts. One in which you write down the clause, right, regarding what is the clause, what is the misconduct, what is the exception. Then second, okay, why ICAI has issued such a clause? What was the purpose of ICAI behind introducing such a clause? Or what has the council said, you know, something if you know, जैसे अभी वो death of partner वगैरह आ गया, तो there you can write about what the council has said, legal representative वगैरह, वो name plate के बारे में आ गया, है ना, second office आ गया, separate chart. So there you can write down about the council in that case. Then after that, third step, you correlate to the case. And finally, you have to give the conclusion. What has been generally observed that in the answer, the second part is missing, the masala, the justification part. Right. So now for 611, what is the common sentence of justification which you have to learn for your answer? Okay, why it is not allowed? Why I cannot distribute such circulars or why cannot I advertise in Times of India or Economic Times? Why solicitation is not allowed? So it says such a restraint. है ना, clause 611 का justification क्या है? Such a restraint, है ना, such a restraint has been put on the members of the profession so that they maintain their independence of judgment and may be able to command respect from their prospective clients. And you are behind their life to get the professional work. And you've been following them, soliciting them in all form, then obviously you will have to move as per their wish, There will be no independence of judgment in that case. They'll say, you only pressurized us so much, you only sold us so, gave us so many presentations and told. That is why we gave you the work. Otherwise, we didn't want to give you. And in the entire code of ethics, in the main text, it has been written so. Okay, a man must stand erect and should not be kept erect by others. It says the professional work will flow to him on account of the goodwill that he has built, the reputation which he builds over the year, and the quality of services which have been provided by the member. It should not be required by the member to adopt such means for getting the professional work. So main kya sentence hai? Such a restraint has been put on the members of the profession so that they maintain their independence of judgment and may be able to command respect from their prospective clients. So I told you, a man must stand erect and should not be kept erect by others. Okay, right. And then in the given case, honest has written letters and therefore honest is not wrong in soliciting the professional work. Right, read question number 5. A CA in practice started project consultancy work as a part of his practice, and to advance the same, sent email to all the CAs in the country informing them of his services and for securing professional work. He's written a mail across India. Guilty or not guilty? To all the CAs in the country, that is why it is within the CA fraternity. That is why not guilty of professional misconduct, right? So again, only an RTP question. You understand, right? So 611, yes? So then that much lenient you have to be. Okay? It is mainly for the CAs in practice. Because if he is not a CA in practice, anyways he cannot do the work. So it's mainly for all the CAs in practice. Right. Yes, so it says, therefore, as per the exception to clause 6, N is within the regulation of the Act and has not committed any professional misconduct. Right, and has not committed any professional misconduct. Right, come to question number 6. Z, a practicing CA, has written to the Director of Technical Education. See, you can write to another CA. You cannot write to the Director of Technical Education, requesting him for allotting the audit of certain schools. Ke thode school ka audit mujhe de do. Can you write a letter requesting to another CA? No, you can write a letter can you write a letter to requesting another CA? Yes. Can you write a letter requesting to the Director of Technical Education? No. So that will be guilty of professional misconduct under 611. Right, so that's the first exception to 611. Applying, requesting, inviting, securing professional work from another CA in practice. And then what is the second exception to 611? It says responding to tenders or inquiries, provided that nothing contained herein shall be construed as preventing or prohibiting a member in practice from responding to tenders or inquiries issued by various users of professional services from time to time and getting professional work as a consequence. Responding to tenders or inquiries issued by the various users of professional services from time to time and getting the professional work as a consequence. So can you respond to tenders and inquiries? Yes, you are allowed. Now, regarding these tenders and inquiries, we have 3 clarifications. And regarding these tenders and inquiries, we have 3 clarifications. So say example I am taking for bank audits. Say for bank audits, they maintain a panel of auditors. They maintain a panel. So can you apply to the ICAI or to the person who is maintaining that panel to enroll your name in the panel of auditors? Yes. So are you aware of existence of panel? Were you aware that for bank this panel is being maintained and right now they are taking entry for the panel, and then you applied and you also paid some earnest money deposit, some EMD. So aware of existence of panel and then applied. And you also paid some EMD, that is earnest money deposit. Are you guilty of professional misconduct? Are you guilty of professional misconduct in that case? Aware of existence of panel and then you applied and also paid the EMD? Yes, no, guilty of professional misconduct. Yes, that is allowed. Second, what you did an inquiry regarding maintenance of panel. You sent a letter asking the school, okay, are you maintaining a panel? And if you are maintaining a panel, please put my name on the panel. So will that be guilty of professional misconduct? You are making an inquiry regarding maintenance of panel? Yes. What does it say? You should be aware regarding the existence of a panel. You can't ask, अरे तुम लोग panel रखते हो क्या? अच्छा, तो मेरा भी नाम डाल दो ना. Then that is guilty. You're aware that they maintain a panel and then you only applied, then that is not guilty. Now say your name is there on the panel for last 8 years and no audit work has been allotted to you. And that is why you start following up. What happened? My name is there on the panel. I don't get a phone call till now. What happened? I didn't get a mail so far. This year I'll get, no? Should I come to office tomorrow morning? 9 o'clock I'll come? You understand? So what is that? Roving inquiries. Continuous follow-up. Roving inquiries being made about the panel. Will that be guilty of professional misconduct? Yes. Yes, will that be guilty of professional misconduct? Yes. So are you maintaining a panel? Out. What happened? My name is there on the panel? Out. Aware regarding the existence of panel and then applied and then paid EMD, then allowed. Then no, guilty of professional misconduct. Okay, now listen to one more clarification over here. I'll give you time to write. Okay, tenders and inquiries. Panel entry now, tenders and inquiries. Is it open for other professionals also, or is it only that CAs can apply? You understand? If it is open for other professionals also, then CA can respond to any tender or inquiry. Then CA can respond to any tender or inquiry. It's not only जैसे अभी computerization of records करना है, तो ऐसा थोड़ी यार कि सिर्फ CA computerization कर सकता है records का. Even a BCom graduate, even an IT engineer can do that work. Right. So if it is open for other professionals, then can CA respond to any tender inquiry? Yes. Say audit करना है बैंक का, तो obviously this will not be open for other professionals. This will only be for the CAs. Then you need to check whether the minimum fees have been prescribed. Then you need to check whether the minimum fees have been prescribed. No, minimum fees are not prescribed. Then you cannot respond. If minimum fees have not been prescribed, then you cannot respond to the tender or inquiry. And yes, minimum fees have been prescribed. Then you can respond to any tender or any tender or inquiry which is open only for the CAs. So where it is open only for the CAs application, only CAs can apply. Then when should the CA apply? When the minimum fees have been prescribed. नहीं तो क्या होता है? Cutthroat competition होता है. Somebody will be ready to do 10 lakh ka work for 10,000 just to get the work. So that is why what do they say? Minimum fees are they prescribed. Only then you can respond if it is only for CAs. If it is for other professionals along with CAs, then it says even though if minimum fees are not prescribed, you can respond to any tender or inquiry. This has come new on 8th of April 2016. You understand now? After the clause in your books, it has been written, guideline issued on, I think, 8th of April. Yes, ICI guideline issued on 8th of April. Yes, are you there? Page number 2.14. In exercise of the powers conferred under 122, what is 122 we'll see later, has issued the following guidelines for compliance by the members in practice. Padho zara ye wala, 5 lines, and see whether you can understand what I just said. हो भी गया पढ़ के इतना 5 लाइन. shall not respond to any tender issued by an organization or user of professional services in areas of services which are exclusively reserved for chartered accountants, such as audit and attestation services. However, such restriction shall not be applicable for minimum fee of the assignment as prescribed in the tender document itself, or where the areas are open to other professionals along with the chartered accountants. Right, so I just told you, so that's a new entry. And what are the two exceptions to 611? Provided that nothing contained herein shall be construed as preventing or prohibiting any CA from applying or requesting for or inviting or securing professional work from another CA in practice, or a member from responding to tenders or inquiries issued by various users of professional services or organizations from time to time and securing professional work as a consequence. Right, come to question number 6 ka last part of the answer. Director of Technical Education. Are you allowed to request work from Director of Technical Education? No. But last line kya likha hai answer mein? However, if the director is maintaining a panel and if Z writes to him for inclusion of his name on the panel, then he would not be guilty of professional misconduct. So if you are aware that they are maintaining a panel and then you applied, then in that case it says then no guilty of professional misconduct. Are you getting that? Right. Come to question number 7. LMN, a firm of CAs, responded to a tender from a state government for computerization of land revenue records. Can they respond? For this purpose, the firm also paid 50,000 as earnest money as part of terms of the tender. Right, so they can pay the EMD also. So clause 6, part 1, first schedule. As per the guidelines, if a matter relates to any service other than audit, members can respond to any tender. Further, if it is for a non-exclusive area, members are permitted to pay reasonable amount towards earnest money also. In the instant case, since computerization of revenue records does not fall within exclusive areas for CAs, LMN can respond to the tender as well as deposit 50,000 as earnest deposit and shall have not committed any professional misconduct. Right, question number 8. A letter is sent by a CA in practice to the Ministry of Finance inquiring whether a panel of auditors is being maintained by the ministry, and if so, to include his name in the panel. Are you maintaining a panel? Guilty, no? So first you are going to write down clause 6 with the second exception. Then the masala, such a restraint. Hai na? Are you all getting? Right. Then in case of making an application for the empanelment for the allotment of audit and professional work, the council has opined that where the existence of such a panel is within the knowledge of the member, he is free to write to the concerned organization with a request to place his name on the panel. However, it would not be proper for the member to make roving inquiries by applying to any such organization for having his name included in any such panel. Accordingly, the member is guilty in terms of the above provision as he solicited work from the finance ministry by inquiring about the maintenance of the panel. Next one, question number 9. Ex-CA and proprietor of X & Company wrote several letters to the Assistant Registrar of Cooperative Society stating that though his firm was on the panel of auditors, no audit work was allotted and further requested him to look into the matter. So again, roving inquiries, right? So the writing of continuous letter to ascertain the reasons is quite all right, it says. But in such case, it either amounts to requesting for allowing the work, then it will be, X will be liable for professional misconduct. So they say still we can understand, you know, you're making follow-up. But it says just for getting the work. And obviously any person will do continuous follow-up just for getting the work, for the allotment of the work. So X would therefore be guilty under clause 6, part 1, first schedule. Right, so these are the questions, and what we've studied 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are on the two exceptions to 611. And within the CA fraternity and responding to tenders and inquiries. Right, we'll take a break and then we will come to the next part, the prohibited ways of solicitation.